For years, the truth stayed hidden, the victims forgotten, the cases left cold, until science revealed what time could not. This is Decades in the Dark, where cold cases are brought back to light. It was a sunny Saturday morning, May 26, 1990, in the upscale community of Wellington, Florida. Marlene Warren was in her kitchen, making breakfast. Her 21-year-old son, Joey, and some of his friends were in the living room. Outside, palm trees swayed gently in the breeze. Then the doorbell rang. Marlene walked over to answer it, and standing there was a clown, a full costume, bright orange wig, white painted face, a red nose, the whole thing. In one hand, the clown held a bouquet of flowers. In the other, 2 balloons, one shaped like a heart. One said, "You're the greatest." And then, the clown raised a gun. A single shot rang out. Marlene collapsed in the doorway, blood pooling beneath her. As Joey ran to her, the clown turned, walked calmly back to a white Chrysler LeBaron, and drove away. Marlene Warren was 40 years old. She co-owned a successful used car business with her husband, Michael Warren. People described her as kind, practical, a dedicated mother. But behind the scenes, all was not well. There were whispers that Michael was having an affair, that their marriage was strained, that Marlene had even talked about divorce. Investigators took note, but they needed more than whispers. And at first, all they had were balloons, flowers, a clown costume, and a woman dead in her doorway. Police quickly began piecing together the strange clues. Witnesses reported seeing a white Chrysler LeBaron speeding away from the scene. That same day, they found the car abandoned in a nearby parking lot. It had been stolen from a local rental agency a month earlier. Inside, they found orange wig fibers, long brown hairs. But in 1990, DNA testing was still in its infancy. They canvassed local costume shops. One clerk remembered selling a clown outfit to a woman just days earlier. The woman had come in alone. She'd bought a clown suit, a wig, face paint, and balloons. She said she was buying it for her kids. The clerk picked her out of a photo lineup. Her name? Sheila Keene. Sheila Keene was 27. She worked repossessions for Michael Warren's car dealership, tracking down customers who fell behind on payments. She was smart, tough, and according to coworkers, very close with her boss. Too close. Rumors swirled that Sheila and Michael were having an affair. Both denied it. But Marlene had reportedly confronted Michael about Sheila more than once. Sheila also bore a resemblance to the woman who bought the clown costume. But with no solid forensic evidence tying her to the scene, the case began to stall. And then, it went cold. Marlene Warren's murder remained unsolved for over 2 decades. Michael Warren moved to Tennessee, and in a twist straight out of a crime novel, he married Sheila Keene. They opened a burger restaurant together in Abingdon, Virginia. Quiet lives, no clown suits, no suspicion. But the case never truly closed. In the 2000s, cold case detectives began to revisit the evidence. Advances in DNA analysis had given them new tools, and this time, they were ready to use them. In 2014, the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office reopened the investigation. They sent evidence from the car to modern DNA labs. The brown hairs recovered from the Chrysler LeBaron were retested, and this time, they came back as a match to Sheila Keene. Phone records, witness interviews, and costume store receipts were re-examined. Everything pointed in one direction. Sheila had motive, she had opportunity, she had access to the car, and now she was tied to the getaway vehicle by DNA. On September 27, 2017, nearly 27 years after the murder, police arrested Sheila Keene Warren outside her home in Virginia. The case shook the community. Marlene's son, Joey, who had watched his mother die, was relieved, but cautious. Sheila was charged with first-degree murder. She pleaded not guilty. Her attorneys fought hard, delaying the trial for years. COVID, legal motions, missing witnesses, it all dragged on. Michael Warren stood by her the entire time. The two insisted they were innocent, that the evidence was circumstantial, that the DNA wasn't enough. Then, in a surprise twist in April 2023, just before jury selection was set to begin, Sheila pleaded guilty to a lesser charge, second-degree murder. She was sentenced to 12 years in prison with credit for time served. Under Florida's sentencing guidelines, she could be eligible for release in just a few years. For Marlene's family, the plea deal was bittersweet. They'd waited over 30 years for justice. But was 12 years enough for such a cruel, premeditated act? The motive was never officially detailed in court, but investigators believe Sheila killed Marlene to remove the obstacle to her relationship with Michael. It was a crime of obsession, of possession, of planning, and of all the disguises someone could choose, a clown. a symbol of joy and innocence twisted into something horrific. To this day, people remember the image: a clown with balloons and a gun. A murder carried out in daylight. A killer who smiled before she pulled the trigger. Marlene Warren's case reminds us how long the truth can stay hidden, and how far science has come to finally expose it. It also leaves behind a question no technology can answer. How can someone look you in the eye, dressed like a joke, and mean every bit of it? This is Decades in the Dark, where science brings the past to light. Subscribe for more stories where justice never expires.